Hi everyone, it's Kathleen. I'm here today to share an update of my project roll that I've been working on at the lake this past week. So I wanted to show you the progress of it. I started off with 2 pieces of wool, gray in the front, with 2 pieces of Battenberg. The inside was a skirt. It had the zipper, if that were the waistband. This was the zipper of the skirt. And I'm going to put my spools of thread in here. This was the back pleat of the skirt. And I'm also going to be putting threads in there. So what I do is I like to have a project roll that I lay my vintage fabrics in and stitch. I stitch simply for the love of stitch. So I have my threads and my vintage linens and I fold it up like this, and I will have some sari to attach it, and then I just carry it. I just tuck it in my purse and off I go. So what I've done at the lake, I came with just the project bag like this, the project roll actually, and the circles were attached. So I did some stitching and to practice, and this is the trellis stitch. This is going to be the center of my flower. It started off with a smaller circle and a larger circle. So around the smaller circle I did the trellis stitch. This is I'm looking through my camera lens and it's hard for me to figure out where to move my hand. This is a form of weaving, 5-petal flower. What else did I do? I outlined this square with an outline stitch and then a running stitch. And I'm experimenting with different sizes of threads. I have a color palette and I'll show you, and I have in these circles in this square, I did a back stitch all the way around the rectangle and attached chain stitch around 1, 2, 3, 4 of the circles. Then I created a flower with bullion knots, French knots. This circle is just for now filled with French knots all the way around. Different sizes of thread gives you different sizes of knots. And this is oyster stitch in the center. I love using variegated threads, pearl cottons. This is the double cast on stitch for petals of a flower, French knot, and bullion knots to form the outside of a flower. I really love this large circle with the small circle. I did an outline stitch and a running stitch, just like I did on that square. And then I did a whipped, what is this called? This is the word escapes me, but I have done this wrapped stitch around the center of the flower. I really like how that looks. Did the fly stitch over top of the centers, and then I did at the top of the spoke and in the center of the Y, I've just done elongated chain stitch, 2 of them, a small one and a large, small, large, and it's done in a variegated yarn or pearl cotton. I have also couched down these flowers. So I really like how that looks. And what else have I done? This blue is another one of those 5-petal flowers. And I started off with just circles from a Sue Spargo needle roll, but I want a garden. I love experimenting with flowers and greenery. So with different weights of thread, different colors of thread, I have started to, along this, the bottom edge and the top edge, I'll flip it around, so this is going to be the anchor of my flower garden. So I did some back stitches, just some straight stitches, some of those little elbow stitches of Jennifer Clouston, and twisted chain stitches, elongated twisted chain, elongated to make leaves. Various colors. I cut some lengths of just some different threads because I don't have spare thread. I use everything up in a project, so I don't have an ort jar like other people have because I use mine up. So I'm using various colors of green. My greens that I'm going to be working on, these are actually just 3 colors. Only this one is variegated. And where did I start? Oh, okay. This very thick thread is a size 3. A size 3 in the feather stitch, but there's another name for it because there's a 3rd stitch in there and a little knot. So I'm continuing that all the way down. So I'm adding some greenery along the edge. So that's what I'm doing here. Different shades of these, different thicknesses. So right now I'm just going to be taking my size 3 and creating this stitch. And I'm going to add it in various places where my gray is because I am anchoring my flowers on the bottom. Let's turn this around. So I've created different, see, I've got different thicknesses of thread. This is probably size 8. So how thin it is. These other ones, that, these. So quite a variety of threads. And these are my turquoises, different colors that I'm going to be using throughout. So I have my color palette of greens. Isn't that beautiful? Different color palette of greens here. I'm going to place it there for you to look at. And this is the color palette that I'm going to be using for the flowers. Creams, blues, turquoise, and a pop of color with the purple. The purple and the sage green, I think, look really pretty together. So greenery on the edge, and it's going to be anchored. And now where's my square? I started off with my square here. So what I plan to do is after I get the larger pieces like this in, maybe in here as well, and on the opposite side, I'm adding on every single buttonhole, this ecru color of thread, I'm going to have a grass length coming out, and I'm going to do that in patches of say 3 and 5 all the way across. Then I'm going to go in with a different color and do some of these twisted elongated chains as grasses, but with that thicker thread, with this thick thread. So it's going to be a field of grasses along the bottom before I continue with my flowers. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. I was going to do actually some stitching on sharing this, but it took me actually 45 minutes to set up, and by that time my husband came home and he needs the dining table. So this is an overview. I love the stitches. I want to finish this project roll before I get back onto my orange blanket, my wool blanket with all the different stitching. And did I say that I had cordoned this off because I have my pocket in the back I kept stitching together. This is my absolute favorite flower on this piece. I'm going to be making more of them. So this is the finished flower. This is a flower in the making. You see how you draw the spokes first and do that around and around the spokes in the brownish color. Then I did that fly stitch. I can't remember if I told you that, but anyway, off I go to continue stitching. And when I do my orange blanket, I'll show you how to do some of these stitches. They're so beautiful. Love the colorway. Love how the Battenberg, oh, and to blend the Battenberg onto the wool, what I plan to do is I'm going to follow these stitches. So where's the first one? Okay, I'm looking through my camera lens. That's why my hand is just kind of darting all over the place. I am going to do 2 stitches. So from the 1 and 2, and they'll be stacked. Then I'll lead this 1, and I'll start coming off and going like that. So, and you'll see it a little bit later. I was going to show you that today, but husband came home early. Needs the table. Thank you everyone for watching. That's the update of my project roll, and talk to you soon.